Did you know diasporically that the Sherlock Holmes of Black history and the person who amassed the largest collection of Afro-descendant texts is a Black Puerto Rican? The father of Black history, Arturo Alfonso Schomburg, was a historian, writer, activist, collector, and important figure of the Harlem Renaissance. Born in 1874 in Santurce, Puerto Rico, his mother was Maria Joseph, a freeborn Black midwife from St. Croix, and his father a merchant of German ancestry. Schomburg's dedication was ignited while in grade school when one of his white supremacist teachers claimed that Blacks had no history, heroes, or accomplishments. Inspired to prove his bigoted teacher wrong, Schomburg determined that he would find and document the accomplishments of Africans and Afro-descendants. He was a mentor to Langston Hughes and Claude McKay and collaborated with many African-American leaders such as W.E.B. Du Bois, Charles S. Johnson, and Alain Locke. Schomburg's essay, The Negro Digs Up His Past, was included in the anthology The New Negro, edited by Locke. In 1891, a teenage Schomburg migrated to New York City, settling in an enclave of Cuban and Puerto Rican cigar workers and nationalist intellectuals and activists. Very active in the liberation movements of Puerto Rico and Cuba, he founded Las Dos Antillas, a cultural and political group that worked for the independence of the islands from Spain. During 1891 to 1895, this same group of independence fighters had an active membership in the Freemason El Sol de Cuba No. 38 Lodge. There were visitors from almost every republic of South America in the Sol de Cuba Lodge, and all work was conducted entirely in Spanish. In 1892, Schomburg was initiated as a Freemason. After the collapse of the Cuban Revolutionary struggle and the recolonization of Puerto Rico to the U.S., Schomburg turned his attention to the African American community. In 1911, Schomburg was elected master of his lodge. That same year, he also founded the Negro Society for Historical Research. Schomburg renamed El Sol de Cuba No. 38 to Prince Hall Lodge in honor of the first Black Freemason in the U.S. One of his duties was translating rituals and proceedings from Spanish to English. In 1918, he was elected Grand Secretary, holding this position until 1926. Schomburg's first article, Is Haiti Decadent?, appeared in a 1904 issue of the Unique Advertiser. By 1909, Schomburg wrote a profile on the poet and independence fighter Gabriel de la Concepcion Valdez titled Plácido, a Cuban Martyr. Plácido was a prominent Cuban, free mulatto poet and was identified as being the leader of a faction of people of color within a vast revolutionary conspiracy involving enslaved Africans and Afro-descendants, free people of color, Cuban-born whites, and foreigners called La Escalera Conspiracy. He was shot and killed along with 10 others in June 1844. By the end of 1844, thousands had been banished, imprisoned, tortured, or executed. Many others had been disappeared. The year 1844 has gone down in Cuban history as El Año del Cuero, the year of the lash. In 1922, Schomburg was elected president of the American Negro Academy. In his leadership position, Schomburg co-edited the Encyclopedia of the Colored Race. In 1926, he sold his collection of literature, art, slave narratives, originally stored and cataloged in his home in Brooklyn, to the New York Public Library for $10,000. This laid the foundation for one of the world's richest archives for the study of Black cultures and experiences. Schomburg was appointed as the curator of the Schomburg Collection of Negro Literature and Art until his death in 1938. In addition to his position with the New York Public Library, Schomburg was appointed a curator of the Negro Collection at Fisk University's library. Today, the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture is a research unit of the New York Public Library and is generally recognized as one of the leading institutions of its kind in the world.